Hey guys, it's Roscoe, and on the Space Coach today, we're joined by this guy because we're going to talk about The Mandalorian, which obviously the panel was at Star Wars Celebration last weekend. And I was watching that panel live, kind of planned my day, or the second half of my day, around that because I really wanted to see what they had. So obviously I was very disappointed when the live stream cuts out when they were showing footage. I was extremely frustrated at not seeing that footage. But of course it leaked online very soon after. So I saw the sizzle reel. It's the one, you know, where it starts off, he's like walking off into the ice like this. And then there's some behind the scenes bits with the directors and stuff. And then the other day I actually managed to see the other footage that they showed, which was not live streamed. And that's where it is just the Mandalorian meeting up with Werner Herzog, and you see the Kowakian monkey lizards getting roasted, that sort of thing. So I saw that the other day. Obviously, it's a bootleg copy, basically, so you don't get the full import and experience of what is on screen. So they really should have released it normally, rather than people having to have their first experience of The Mandalorian being in a far less impressive format. But that aside, the panel was really, really good. They all seem really excited to be involved in that show. They were asking Pedro Pascal, what does it feel like to be the Mandalorian? He was on stage and there's a giant screen behind him and he says, what does it feel like? That's what it feels like. And he turned around and pointed at the screen where there's a picture of him in action as the Mandalorian, looking awesome. And he was just chuffed to bits. And all of the rest of the cast seem like they're really psyched to be part of this project. Now, in the footage that we did see, loads of great callbacks and stuff in there. Like I said, like the trailer footage, as it were, versus the sizzle reel footage, where you see the monkey lizard getting roasted. There's another one in the cage. But they're sentient creatures. And what about the sentient fleas that live on them, I wonder? We remember that from the Tales of Luke, the Legends of Luke Skywalker. So that was really interesting. Brief shot, of course, of things like, say, Jawas with blasters, IG-88 spinning around his top body, looking pretty impressive. And of course Werner Herzog and all of his Imperial holdouts, stormtroopers, I think death troopers in there as well, and who knows what else. But yeah, it looked really good. The ship is very interesting. Is it the Razor Crest, I think it's called? The front of it looks very much like the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels, and obviously that is intentional. They share that same design language. And the overall shape of that ship with the wings with the two engines on it, that kind of reminds me of some of the Wookiee spaceships that we've also seen again in Star Wars Rebels and perhaps in the Clone Wars as well. But I was impressed with what I saw, not as impressed as I would have been had I actually seen it in its proper format. So until I can see it in its proper format, I'm still not fully sold on it, although I'm leaning very heavily towards it. So that's going to be available November. So that'll be part of the run-up to The Rise of Skywalker, loads of hype for Star Wars. But the rest of the other members of the cast all seemed pretty good as well in the bits that we saw them in action. I forget the lady's name, Gina Carrera. Sorry if that is not quite right. She looks like she's going to be a badass and a match for the Mandalorian. Werner Herzog, he looks like he's playing a standard evil thing. And then there's Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, playing basically a broker of for bounty hunters, getting them deals and all that sort of thing. The sort of thing we have seen in the Star Wars written universe many, many times. But it does look really interesting. And I do wish they would actually drop a proper trailer for it so we can appreciate it in the way it's meant to be appreciated. Because like 99.9% of the fans did not get to see that footage properly when it was shown. Most of the fans are watching online. It's only that handful comparatively of people in the room who saw it. But yes, it does look really interesting. I will be getting his figure, of course, because obviously there will be some differences to this, that even just looking at this figure and remembering the picture, you know, that one of him walking through the market. There are some stylistic differences to the helmet, but clearly a Mandalorian-inspired outfit. And hopefully we'll find out a lot more about Mandalore, because we've only really seen that in the Clone Wars and in Rebels. We've not really seen that in the films, but the TV shows, the format that they have, it's much easier to be able to go into greater depths in some of these intriguing areas we've not explored before. But yes, I was impressed with The Mandalorian eventually. I still really need to see a proper trailer for it, because you know when you see a bootleg copy of something shot at a weird angle, it's like you don't see all the effects properly, you know? So we need to see that. Like I say, I am very much interested in it. So hopefully, once it's out, and once it's out on Blu-ray, of course, because I can't imagine I'm going to be subscribing to Disney Plus, we shall be able to have a proper deep dive. And I do hope there's going to be a visual dictionary, art of, and all of that stuff in due course for us to have a proper go through. But for now, guys, that's just my thoughts on The Mandalorian. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or suggestion for an upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.